right? Is it the golden plover, or is it the red grouse? I mean, are these names even real? My name is Richard Dix, and this is How Did That Happen? A podcast where I look at everyday things or events and try to figure out how they came to be. Every week, I will research one topic, and by the end of the episode, I hope to truly have the answer to the question, how did that happen? Hello, and welcome to another episode of How Did That Happen? This week, we are doing the Guinness Book of World Records. This is episode 46. Let's see, we have a little bit of housekeeping to get to before we hop to the actual episode. I will say the website now is up and running and is as close to a finished product as it may get in the near future. So you can go check it out. It's hdthappen.com. It is the same thing as the Twitter handle. So if you know the Twitter handle, just add .com to it and you'll be right there. Also, if you're on Twitter, it's right there on the homepage. And that's going to be a place where we can kind of go a little bit further with the topics that we cover. I'll also be doing a blog there. I'll kind of just let more of my own thoughts out that are, I wouldn't say that are not very linear to the podcast, but are more like in the same vein of just trying to grow what HDTH is. And I really have a large vision for it overall, so you guys will be seeing that as time goes on. But yeah, definitely check the website out. The mini-sodes are going good. I know last week's episode was Oprah. That was an interesting one for me because she was the first person I covered who's still alive. So you really have to, kind of almost not form your own opinions, but like tell the story. Like with people like Alexander the Great or William Shakespeare or even who we're doing next, which is still a secret, they're already, well, man, I think they're dead. They're already dead. Like there's already been like this narrative and this whole idea and opinion on what their life was. There isn't that with people who are still alive. I say all that to say, I hope you liked it. And now I'm going to get into the what am I watching, because this one in particular actually goes hand in hand with the episode. Interestingly enough, I just finished The Midnight Club, and that was a really good show. If you haven't watched it, I would say give it a shot. If you're not into, it's about teenage hospice patients, so I mean, it could be triggering for some people. I understand. I'm going through similar things in my life right now, so it's like, when I told my mother what I was watching, she was like, "What are you watching? The teenagers in hospice care? Like, what?" Like, even I was just like, I don't have time to explain to Mom. It's a good show. But the interesting part about it is, Midnight Club actually set a world record for the most scripted jump scares in a single television episode, and it was 21 in total. And so I just thought that was interesting. Since we're talking about the actual Guinness Book of World Records, one of the shows that I'm watching right now actually did just break a world record. So I don't know, just trying to find connections here. I think that's about all we have to say before we hop into the episode. As always, I want to thank all you guys for pressing play and coming back week to week. And let's find out how the Guinness Book happened. All right, so today we're going to talk about the Guinness Book of World Records. And like we normally do for things like this, you have to go back before you can go forward. So what we're actually going to talk about first is Guinness, the company Guinness, that makes the beer. So Arthur Guinness founded the Guinness Brewery in 1759 in Dublin, Ireland. The beer was originally brewed at the St. James Gate Brewery, and when he first created this property, this is wild to me. Of course, he signed a 9,000-year lease, 9,000 years. When he first was going to create this company in 1759, this dude basically signed on until the year 10,000 or 759. Like, who thinks that far ahead? Who right now has a 9,000-year lease on something? I mean, maybe that's how that works. I just when I saw that, I was like, that seems like a lot. And so originally he made ale at his brewery. Then he switched to making an Irish dry stout, which is what Guinness is known for even still today. And they originally, the first people they ever exported to was, of course, London, and that's how it kind of became a household name from that point, because they eventually moved the headquarters of the company to London in 1932. But I think within a couple weeks or months after creating the first actual brewery, the first dry Irish stout in 1759, he already went and exported it out to London, and people were loving it over there. Yeah, okay, actually I lied. 10 years. It was 1769 when they exported the first beer to England. Let's see. And one last fun fact about them before we get on to their actual book. There was a member of the Guinness family on the board of the Guinness beer company all the way up until 1992. So what is that? I mean, that's like 200 years, 243 years. Where the family kind of stayed in small control, because even by that point they were on the board. They weren't actual owners. They sold most of their majority stock and stuff like that. But I saw that was an interesting fact. One more before we move on to the actual book is that the original brewery where he brewed the first dry Irish stout is actually it's still there. It's not a brewery anymore. It's a museum for Guinness, but it's actually pretty cool. And if I ever go to Ireland, I definitely want to check it out. I think it's because it's the original one from 1759 that he still has that 9,000 year lease on. That brings us to the Guinness Book of World Records, which is considered among most to be the ultimate authority on record-breaking achievements. It started out as an idea for a book of facts to solve arguments in pubs, bars. The initial idea for the book occurred in 1951 when a man named Sir Hugh Beaver, great name, attended a shooting party in County Wexford, all this super British stuff, right? And he was the managing director of Guinness, of the Guinness Brewery. And like we said, the headquarters of Guinness had been moved from Ireland to London in 1932, so about 20 years prior. So at this shooting party, Hugh, Sir Beaver, he shot at a golden plover and missed, right? And this prompted an argument between him and all his buds, right, about what the fastest game bird was, right? Is it the golden plover or is it the red grouse? I mean, are these names even real? But either way, like, and the answer they couldn't figure it out. They didn't know, right? And so like later on, when he's talking to people about this shooting party and telling them the conundrum that they went through about not being able to figure out who was the fastest game bird, he kind of refashions the idea as a type of Guinness promotion that they could market to bars to settle arguments. Meaning, basically, like if we have these same problems, other people must have them too. We can market, this, problem-solving, argument-solving solution, and also make some money by people buying our beers at the same time. And so he enlisted some men who were twins, named Norris and Ross McWhirter. We'll definitely talk more about them later on. And they were already fact-finding guys, kind of like what I do, but I'm guessing probably better. And they were also athletes. And this is instrumental in they were actually instrumental in the running of the first 4-minute mile. I don't know how much people know about athletic history or care about it. I mean, but I thought when I saw this, it was actually interesting because you wouldn't think. I mean, I guess you would. It's all records, right? It's all records. But Norris McWhirter was actually calling the race when Roger Bannister ran his first 4-minute mile, and he, of course, was the first human to be recorded at running a mile in 4 minutes. So I just thought that was a little interesting, like kind of, I guess, tidbit or how everything works, together. So the two twins were guys who just liked looking stuff up, and they decided to go do that at Guinness with Sir Beaver, and they compiled a list of facts and records, and they printed 1,000 copies, and they gave them away all to all the bars around the local London area, maybe even a little further. And with that, Guinness Superlatives was born on November 30th, 1954. It was originally called Guinness Superlatives, and we'll get to the Guinness Book of World Records and when they even take out certain words as well. But the office opened in 2 rooms in a converted gymnasium on the top floor of Ludgate House, 107 Fleet Street. I love the way the British do their addresses. After an initial research phase, work began on writing the book, which took 13 and a half 90-hour weeks, including weekends and bank holidays, which is an odd thing to put in there. Like I said, the books were originally a part of the bar as like a marketing thing for like, this is the Guinness book. We're in here drinking, and if you have an argument you need to settle, the answer may be in the Guinness book. Also, would you like a Guinness while we're doing this? And but really they would end up being stolen, and that was the impetus behind why they wanted to start selling them, because they realized now they have something, valuable on their hands. The first American edition of the Guinness Book was released in 1956, and it still has that name, Superlatives. It was called the Guinness Book of Superlatives. So you see, was it maybe 2 years after they make it, they start shipping it over. Because like I said, they realized that they make those 1,000 copies, right? They put them out in the pubs. Everyone's loving it. All of a sudden, they keep having to replace them, at their expense. And so they realize, oh, the people love this so much, they're stealing it. Let's make them pay for it, and then it grows. And it's interesting to mention that although the books, they never did tackle the original question that created, this whole like love and fascination of records. Let's see, I believe the answer is the red-breasted merganser. I have nothing to do with bird watching, but I would get into it just off the names alone. All right, and so I'll hit you with a couple fast facts about the good old Guinness Book. There are actively more than 60,000 records in their database. In 1999, they would change their name from the Guinness Book of World Records to just the Guinness World Records. They kind of took the book out because the book as time goes on, like with most things, the books are not as important as they used to be. It's all like web based now, and they would do like board games and everything. So they kind of, it's not just everything is not centered around the book anymore. But speaking of the book, though, over 150 million books have been sold to date, so it's been pretty successful. I saw something saying it's up there with some of the most popular texts of all time. I don't know how much I believe that, but it's been sold a lot. It's been sold a lot, and there's an interesting thing that I saw that basically this has to do with why or how they make money now that they don't do the book as much, and they have this thing where they call them adjudicators, right? But I would really call it a concierge service. They don't really say that, but it's pretty much what it is. And so they're the people who certify the records and stuff like that. And so they were, like I said, they were created as a way to build up revenue for the company in the wake of declining book sales due to the internet. And so basically you can pay them a certain amount of money, because I'm going to get into the application process after this, and it may make more sense when I say that, but this is just, I didn't think this fit in that. You can pay a certain amount of money, like $1,000, $5,000, and they'll come out and like help you break a record. Like they'll bring a guy out who can certify it right there on the spot, who can tell you which ones are easier to break, show you how to do it, stuff like that. And it's a lot for like companies or like charities do it. So it really is this whole like actual like service of like trying to help you break record. It's on their website. It's not like it's a lie. I didn't know that. I don't think most people know how or what goes into breaking a Guinness World Record. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Let's see, and now we can get to the actual application process, because it's on there, and it says on their website, and it can take up to 12 weeks, if not more. But if you want to expedite that process, you can pay $1,000, and they'll get back to you in 5 business days. It says that on the website, and to me, I'm just like, so it is a money grab, because how can you, if it really takes 3 months, how can $1,000 just fix that? I don't know. Asking for a friend. I don't know. I was just like, this is really just some BS. But so the first stage of the process requires them to review the proposal against their large database of records, and then you will either be informed if you've been accepted under your chosen title, or given a suggested similar alternative record title, or just rejected altogether. And if you're accepted, you'll be sent a set of record guidelines and an information packet that details the rules of the record and the evidence that they require in order to verify the attempt. And so that's pretty much the process. I don't know why I thought it'd be harder, and I think honestly it probably is than just what they're saying in the words. But so if you wanted to break a Guinness Book of World Records, or I don't know why I keep saying that, a Guinness World Record, you want to do that, it'll take you about 3 months, and if you want to do it in a week, it'll take about $1,000. And that is how the Guinness Book of World Records happened. And now it's time for the roundup. And we're going to round it up. Arthur Guinness founded Guinness in 1759 in Dublin, Ireland. The company would move its headquarters to London in 1932. The Guinness Book started as a book used in bars to settle arguments. Things I didn't know before, and now I know them. Never heard of these things. What are they? All right, and so for the things I didn't know before, it's going to be a little bit different, but not quite. I only have one like actual thing, and then the other ones I decided I'm going to read off to you guys some pretty weird Guinness Book of World Record like records that are out there. But before we get to that, let's see. There's the guy, one of the twins who helped create the Guinness Book. His name was let me make sure I get this right. Ross McWhirter was his name. I almost said it was Norris. It would have been wrong. That's why I looked these things up. So Ross McWhirter, one of the McWhirter twins, he was actually killed in the 70s by the IRA, and like he was shot right in front of his home, like point blank in the head, in the face, I think. And it was, I don't know. That's just you never. When you look at this stuff, and I've started to know to do it more now because I've been doing it for a while. Something just told me, it was like, look up how these dudes died. Like I bet one of them is just wild, and it was, because his other brother lived into like the early 2000s. He was like 78 when he died. But the other one, a lot of these people that do great things end up meeting tragic deaths. All right, and so now I will read you some really weird. I mean, you know what? I'm not going to judge some odd things I didn't expect to hear about. Let's call it that. I'm not gonna judge. The first one that sticks out to me is there's a man named Gary Turner who holds the record for the stretchiest skin, and I will be posting pictures about this. He has a rare medical condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is basically a thing where like the connective tissue, the collagen, I guess, becomes defective, and one of the symptoms includes loosening of the skin and hypermobile joints. And this guy can pull his skin off his body over 6 inches, like from his body. Like there's pictures, it's wild. But okay, that's one. Guy with the longest tongue, man by the name of Nick Stoberl, and it is 10 centimeters, which, someone's got to translate that to inches for this old American here. But looking at the picture, it is long. It is nasty. And we got a lady here with super long fingernails. I don't know why that's ever a thing for people. I really don't. The guy with the longest mustache, also kind of just why, but his name is Ram Singh. And let me give the girl her flowers. I said everybody else's name. Lee Redman is the person with the longest fingernails. So there you go. But yeah, Ram Singh has a 14-foot long mustache. And I'm sure he has a good reason for it. Let's see. We got beard holders. There is yeah. This is the Ramos Gomez family set the record for being the largest hairy family in 2000. I don't know why there needs to be the largest. It's just you have like, I will be posting this picture. This man's face is covered in hair. I did not know people like this existed. I mean, he's covered in hair, and his family's hairy, and his wife is hairy. So that to me means that's. So are you looking for a hairy wife? I guess you must, right? Or I don't know. I don't know. So that takes the cake right there for me, as far as I think one of the weirdest. Definitely one of the weird. I'm gonna go ahead and judge. It's a little weird. Let's see. There is a parrot who set the record for opening the most. What is it? Opening the most number of cans in 1 minute. It's a macaw, like the thing from the Fruit Loops. Yeah, I don't know why that's a thing. He did 35 in a minute. Why is the real question? How does someone find a macaw and then be like, I know what your real skill is. I know you think it's looking like you enjoy fruity cereal, but really, it's opening as many cans as possible in 60 seconds. Let me see. I'm gonna keep scrolling and probably get up out of here, because nothing's gonna beat that hairy face family. I really don't think so. Like I said, I'll be posting pictures of that on the Twitter page and may even go deeper on the website. I'm still processing that. There's some weird ones in here I'm not even really going to go deep into. There's one where how many spoons can you put on your body? Why? I don't get it. Yep, that's it. We're going to end that with the hairy family, and then yeah. All right, that's been another episode of HDTH. We learned a lot about the Guinness Book, if I could ever pronounce it correctly. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say before we get out of here? I always appreciate you guys listening. Hope the website grows. I like seeing the continued action on the Twitter page, engaging with you guys. If there's something that you guys want me to cover, let me know. Especially with the BSBs, the bite-sized bios, they will continue to be coming out every Thursday at 4:30 a.m. And like I said, the HDTH comes out every Monday at 4:30 a.m. Let's see. I think that is about it. Like and subscribe wherever you can. Leave a comment if you wouldn't mind. Like I said, I don't mind if it doesn't have to be 5 stars. If you want to be 2 stars and tell me what I did wrong, I'm down with that too. But yeah, see you guys in a couple days.